What's up, everybody? We are live, and we have a great card this Saturday night. Actually, I'm my bad. I don't even know why I said that. Well, I mean, obviously, I said that because we always have fights Saturday, but we have two cards this week. So we are breaking down Wednesday's card, and then Saturday's card we'll be breaking down on Thursday with a special guest, Sun Tzu. Really excited about that. So this Wednesday, we got Dan Ige versus Calvin Kattar. This is a great card. I'm excited to watch this fight. Excited to watch every fight in the card. Kelton, what's up, dude? How are you doing?
What's up, bro? I'm doing great. We're coming off that great pay per view. I know we're about to recap that. We both had winning nights, which is great. That's always a good thing. And you said it, man. This card Wednesday, awesome main event. Two great strikers. And the rest of the card's awesome, man. You got a lot of good prospects, a lot of good debutees. It's going to be a good one, bro.
Yeah, man, I can't wait. We got to recap the last card real quick. Main event: Usman versus Masvidal. We both picked Usman. Yeah, I mean Masvidal won the first round, but I mean Usman's just a really good fighter. I mean he's the champ for a reason. I really think the only people that could beat him is, I mean, we both agree with this. Jeff Neal is probably going to be the future champ in the future, but I still think Colby could definitely make it a competitive fight. But I don't know who else could beat Usman. I mean, Usman's just so dominant, dude. What do you think about the performance? Because a lot of people are criticizing him. He's a boring fighter, but he did what he had to do. He's the champ.
Fuck that boring fighter shit. You win by any means necessary. Kamaru Usman's just adding to his legacy. I know you mentioned a couple of those guys, man. I know I mentioned Jeff Neal. He's a dark horse. He's a threat for sure. But man, I don't know if anyone's going to beat Usman for a very long time. I can see him being one of those champions like GSP, Anderson Silva, Demetrius Johnson, who hits double digit defenses. Like I really think he's that dominant. I was kind of messing with you about the Colby Covington thing in the chat the other day. I actually had it 2-2 going into the fifth. So yeah, it was a close fight, and Colby definitely has a chance, but I would definitely favor Usman again. But yeah, definitely when it comes to who can beat Kamaru Usman, those two names come to mind. Definitely Colby Covington and Jeff Neal. No disrespect to any of those other guys out there. I'm sure Gilbert Burns will probably get the next shot. He originally had it, so that'll be the next fight, man. That should be a good one. As far as Masvidal, dude, props for taking the fight against a fucking beast on a week's notice. I know he did have a training camp. He was getting ready for this just in case anything happened. But still, just take that fight, man, and go out there and last all 5 rounds. George is a fucking legend, man. I don't think anyone is dropping stock on Jorge Masvidal just because of that fight. He's going to bounce back for sure.
Yeah, man, I forgot about Gilbert Burns. I mean, Gilbert Burns is a good fighter, dude. So I mean, I definitely think that he's live against Usman. But other than that, I don't see him losing to Leon Edwards or those kind of guys. Co-main event. I mean, this is a very controversial fight. We had Volkanovski versus Holloway. Personally, I scored it for Max, but I mean, I can definitely see how Volk won the fight as well. You got to take it from the champ. That's why a lot of people still think that Reyes lost or Reyes beat Jones and all this stuff. I don't see it. I mean, he didn't take it from him. Jones won the fight, in my opinion, and Volkanovski came out, strong in those last 3 rounds, man. I mean, the fifth round was definitely him. One judge scored it for Max. That was crazy. It all came down in the third round. Max looked really good early, but he just stopped. He just put his foot off the gas. He's not washed or anything. I don't know, man, where Max goes from here. But yeah, Volk got the win. I like Volkanovski, but I still think that he's going to lose. I still think that, Korean Zombie's going to knock him out when they fight. But yeah, good performance. What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of completely disagree about this fight being controversial. I thought it was a clear win for Volkanovski, and I'm truly, guys, from the bottom of my heart, not just saying that because I bet him. I'll admit when a fighter I bet fought close or whatever, but go back and rewatch this fight if you're still up in the air about it. Because in my opinion, that third round, that's the one that's in question. Obviously, Holloway won 1 and 2. Volkanovski obviously won 4 and 5. It's that round 3, and I think we're just where people are getting skewed, man. Is so they put up the total strike stats on the broadcast, and I believe Max Holloway outstruck Volkanovski 29-28. So it was super close, but I mean, if you really go back and watch that round, though, the shots that Volkanovski were landing were much harder. He was the one pressuring that round. I really think Max Holloway might have put a little bit too much energy into those first 2 rounds, man. Because let's not push it around. Like, he slowed down after that second round. That's why Volkanovski was really able to take over. And that's not taking away anything from Volkanovski. The guy came back, had a great championship performance. But even if you look at these significant strike stats of round 3, Volkanovski 25 significant strikes, Max Holloway 15. So if you're looking at significant strikes, Volkanovski outlanded him by 10. So really, and I rewatched the round, man. Like, that's a definite Volkanovski round. And there were 2 other fights on the card that were way closer than this, in my opinion. So great performance from Volkanovski. Great performance from Holloway too, man. I think he surprised a lot of us Volkanovski bettors for sure. He came back even better. So I'm looking forward to seeing who Max Holloway fights next. Like, another top fighter coming off a loss. You know, it would be a really good fight, bro. Max Holloway versus Edson Barboza.
Oh shit! I mean, yeah, I got Max there. I mean, I think Max would probably go up to 55 if we fight Tony Ferguson or something like that. But yeah, Max is not washed up or anything. I mean, he's still a good fighter. I just don't know if he can. He's gonna be the champion again at 45. Probably not. Next fight we had Peter Yan versus Aldo. Man, I mean, shout out to Guru. He was telling me that he thought that Aldo was winning. I think he said Aldo 2-1 the first 3 rounds. I disagree. I thought that Yan was winning the whole fight. I mean, Aldo maybe won 1 round, but yeah, dude, Aldo, in my opinion, is done. I think he needs to retire, and I just don't see how he comes back from this fight. I mean, Peter Yan beat the fuck out of him, dude. Peter Yan is the real deal. I can't wait to see his next fight. I saw some people on Twitter saying that Magic would beat him. Yeah, right, dude. I mean, I feel like Peter Yan's toughest fight is probably against Cejudo, to be honest. I mean, let's be honest, even though Cejudo's retired, he's still a fucking beast, dude. One of the best fighters of all time. So I think that's his toughest fight. And Aldo, too. Aldo's probably another tough fight. But other than that, I don't see how he loses the Magic. Good performance for Peter Yan. He's good everywhere. One thing I like about him, too, is that he's been criticized in the past about he's a chinny and stuff like that because Dawson dropped him. He's tough, bro. He took some huge shots from Aldo in this fight and just ate him, dude. So Peter Yan's the real deal. I love everything about him. What about you? What do you think about the fight?
Firstly, I just want to say thank you to everyone in the chat shouting out my jersey. Lamar Jackson, the reigning MVP, the best player in the NFL, is coming for a Super Bowl ring this year. So let's go. But back to Peter Yan, man. Whew. In my opinion, that was the best fight on the card, bro. I was surprised. Didn't they give it fight of the night to Rose and Andrade? I kind of completely disagree with that. I thought this by far was the best fight of the night. Jose Aldo, dude, I mean, he picked up right where he left off in that Marlon Moraes fight, in my opinion, to where it's, I mean, even though he took losses in these 2 bantamweight fights, like, this is the best Jose Aldo we've ever seen since, like, the Conor McGregor, like, before Conor McGregor, in my opinion. And it just happened that he had to fight Marlon Moraes and friggin' Peter Yan. And, I mean, pretty much, I mean, if you listen to 100 MMA podcasts last week, I'm pretty sure 100 of them probably mentioned the fact that Jose Aldo, he slows down in 5-round fights. And, man, like, in that first 15 minutes, we were looking at a very competitive fight, but Aldo did what Aldo does. He slowed down. Peter Yan is not a guy you want to slow down in front of. And that's no disrespect on Peter Yan. I know he hurt him bad in the first round as well, so that was good. But Aldo definitely recovered and fought well in that second and third round. It's just, yeah, man, once they hit those championship rounds, it was a wrap. So congrats to Peter. I think he's a great champion, but man, in my opinion, I completely think it should have been, I mean, no disrespect to Aldo, but the bantamweight title fight should not have included a guy coming off a loss. When Peter Yan fights Aljamain Sterling, to me, that's my real true who's the number 1 bantamweight in the world fight. So really looking forward to that fight. It's inevitably probably going to happen next, man. And I have no idea who I got. Got to look into it for sure.
I mean, it should happen next. I don't see how Aldo doesn't get the fight. I mean, I think Dana White said he doesn't know. I mean, that's disrespect. I mean, Aldo should 100% get the next fight. He should have got it before Aldo did, to be honest. I mean, I know you agree with me on that. That was fucking retarded.
Well, I thought that Aljamain Sterling and Corey Sandhagen should have been the vacant bantamweight title fight, and I was surprised they didn't go that route. But I guess Aldo's the biggest name out of all those guys, and they like Peter Yan's undefeated UFC record, so it is what it is.
Yeah, man. Next fight, what a barn burner this was. This is definitely one of the best fights tonight. Rose versus Andrade. I agree with the decision. Rose's chin is good, dude. Damn. I mean, I know she had a good chin in the past. She's only been knocked out once, but she ate some huge shots in this fight, dude. And it's weird because Rose's cardio has always been good, but I don't know, man. Like she gassed in this fight. She kind of gassed against Andrade in the first fight, but she didn't gas against JJ in their 5-round fight. So I don't know, but I mean, I mean, they're both good fighters. It was a close fight. I mean, I do agree that the judges got it right. Rose won 2 rounds, but yeah, I'm really curious to see where they go from here. I mean, I think Rose should probably fight Tatiana Suarez, to be honest. I don't think Rose should fight Zhang. I mean, I think they should do Wheelie versus Suarez or Suarez versus Rose to fight Wheelie. That's in my opinion. But yeah, good performance from Rose. I picked Andrade to win. Didn't better. Glad I didn't better. Glad I passed. What do you think?
Man, I thought it was a great performance from both ladies. To be honest with you, I thought Rose made really good adjustments. So, I mean, my assessment, like what I see happen. So in the fight, well, the narrative was everyone said it. Rose looked amazing that first round. She busted up Andrade bad. She landed a lot of strikes, but the thing was, she definitely used a lot of energy in that first round. And you saw it. She started to slow down in that second round. And then now in this fight, Rose was definitely a little more conservative, took a little bit less chances, and she played it safe. So, and then she was able to do that in the second round because she had more energy than she did the first time because she didn't really. I mean, she threw nowhere near the volume, which is fine. She was winning. She was, keeping the fight where she wanted. But yeah, she came out, won the first 2 rounds, and that was enough. But yeah, Andrade definitely came on hard that third round. I mean, she whooped Rose in that third round, if we're being honest. I thought it arguably, watching it live, I thought it arguably could have been scored a draw. I thought maybe Andrade could have got a 10-8 in that third round. So, I mean, at plus 175, whatever she was, like, I don't think that was a terrible bet. Um, for Andrade better, like if I bet Andrade there, I'd be so pissed that fight isn't 5 rounds because if that fight is 5 fucking rounds, dude, like I don't see Rose finishing Andrade, so like it would just get worse and worse for Rose. So definitely lucky for her it was a 3 round fight. And if you bet Rose, like going into it, knowing the angle that it's 3 rounds, Rose will probably be a little conservative. If you were saying that going into it, props to you because that was a very sharp bet. She easily won the first 2 rounds, and in my opinion, she earned herself a shot against Weili Zhang. So let's see that fight.
Yeah, man. Next fight we had, I believe, Ribas versus Van Zandt. We don't need to spend that much time on this. Ribas destroyed her like we all said he was going to. Van Zandt's going to go to Bellator next. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, man. Easy work. Easy work. That's all I got to say.
Next fight, I mean, we're going to spend a little bit on this one. We had a Jiri Prochazka versus Volkan Oezdemir. Yeah, my only bet of the night. He went out there and looked good. I was a little nervous in the beginning because he was fucking fighting with his hands on the whole fight, and he got hurt. He did get hurt, but honestly, man, after rewatching it, I've probably watched it like 5 times now. I actually thought that he won the first round. I think Volkan. I think it was close. Like Volkan has moments, and Volkan outstruck him for sure. But I think Jiri. I mean, dude, they both had their moments, dude. But I mean, I think it could have gone either way. The first guy scored it for Jiri, but I mean, I wouldn't dock them scoring it for Volkan. It's not like Volkan dominated the first round. They both had their moments. Jiri hurt him within the first 5 seconds of the fight with that jab. But the second round, he went out there and got that KO. Dude, that was awesome. I know that you bet on Volkan. Yeah, man. I mean, Volkan will be back for sure. But a lot of people are saying he's only been knocked out. He's never been knocked out before. DC got TKO'd him, so that's the second time. He's not. I mean, I don't think he was shitty or anything in the past. I just thought that Jerry was the better striker, and he proved that he was. But I think Jerry's gonna go far. I really do. I think that he's gonna be a top 5 guy. I think that they should match him up with Corey Anderson next because that would be easy money for Jerry. But I want him to fight with his hands up, please, because I mean it's scary, dude. I mean, he took some huge shots from Volkan, and he got hurt, but he showed that he has a good chin, dude. He showed that he's tough, man. And he said after the fight that that was the hardest shots he's ever been hit in his life. But you got to admit, after watching that, I mean, I think Jerry's is going to be a top 5 guy. I don't know if he's going to be like the champion or anything like that, but he's going to be a contender, and in my opinion, be in the top 5. Like he can smoke Lionheart. He's going to smoke who we just talked about right now, Corey Anderson. So I'm excited to see who he fights next. But yeah, only bet of the night. I won 4.2 units. So yeah, What about you? What do you want to talk about this fight?
Yeah, man, very well done on that bet. That was very
Thanks,
sharp.
man.
I definitely underestimated Jiri Prochazka, man. I mean, it's just a thing of looking too much into, oh, this guy hasn't beat anybody, man, or oh, this guy this. I mean, yeah, I mean, I definitely underestimated him. He made me pay for it. You were questioning how the first round was scored. Didn't matter, man. He knocked him the fuck out that second round. Jerry's got a hell of a chin on him. He's super tough, super powerful, man. I mean, you mentioned he's never been knocked out. He was TKO'd by Daniel Cormier. That was the first time we've seen Volkan like fucking flatline, bro. Especially like on the feet like that. Just super impressive and absolutely. I mean, to go out there and do that to Volkan Oezdemir, there's no denying at all that he's a top five guy. I mean, this is Volkan Oezdemir. I mean, all the things I was saying pre-tape are true. Volkan Oezdemir is a guy who had a very close split decision fight with Dominic Reyes, who could easily be champion right now. So, I mean, I don't want to hear anybody shit on Volkan Oezdemir and take away that win from Jerry Prochazka, because Jerry Prochazka just beat a legit dude. So I'm looking forward to see where he goes from here. I don't know if he should fight Corey Anderson. Corey Anderson's coming off a loss. I'd have to look at the rankings, man. I don't know who did Thiago Santos just get a fight with?
Go over to Shara.
Yeah, maybe give Jerry the winner of that fight.
I got to call one person out real quick because I mean I like the guy too. So I know he's your boy. I'm sure he'll be on our show in the future. So before the fight, I think it was on our stream on BroPigs. Lags the capper said that Ratchet should be minus 400 versus Jiri. Do you still agree with that, Lags? Because if you do, you're crazy. Because Jiri would fucking kill him, dude. In my opinion, he said that. I saw it on the chat, and I was just laughing, like, bro, what? Like Ratchet should be minus 400. Did you? And I mean, obviously, I don't think he agrees with that. Like, I hope he doesn't, because if he does, he's fucking crazy. But Ratchet should not even be the favorite versus Jiri. I mean, after what Jiri just did, dude, I even said it before Jiri did that, bro, that Jiri would fucking beat Ratchet. And Ratchet's a good fighter, don't get me wrong, but Glass Capper, if you're watching this right now, because I know you're always in here a lot, please tell me you don't agree with that, because
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's my boy Danny. He's a good guy. He's a sharp guy. I'm sure he learned his lesson and absolutely no longer thinks that. I mean, geez, I mean, you could arguably line Jiri minus 400 against Rakic for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, he's a good guy. But I mean, I know, like, like we went against each other and all that stuff, but a lot of people were on me, dude, all week. Like, not even a lot of people. And I mean, there's so many people that were fucking like messaging me saying that was the worst bet of all time. But
Bro,
it is what it is.
I feel like that's when you always cash. When you get the most hate, that's when you cash the most.
And I hope it happens again on the main event here. I mean, I know I'm not going to spoil anything, but I hope it happens in the main event. So next fight we had Muslim Sakalayev, or how do you even pronounce it? Salikov versus Zaleski. Yeah, this is a very close fight, dude. Personally, I think Muslim won the fight, but I mean, it could have gone either way. It's not like it was a robbery if Zaleski would have won. Let's be honest, though, dude. Zaleski's kind of on the decline, dude. He has not looked good his last 3 fights, dude. I mean, he looked like shit against the Leech. He didn't look good against Kuchenko. And even here, bro, like, I mean, Muslim too, though, dude. Like, Muslim got dropped. Like, I mean, we were talking about it last night on me and Guru. I mean, I think Razak Alhassan, who is fighting later on this card, would destroy both of these guys. That's in my opinion. I'm sure you agree.
I do.
What do you think about this fight?
Yeah, you said it, man. It was super close. I believe it was the the second round that it came down to. Zaleski definitely won the first. Muslim definitely won the third. It was that second round, and I've only seen it the one time I watched it live, and I just remember thinking after the round ended, I have no fucking clue who won that round. That was clearly a coin flip. Maybe if I rewatched it, I'll think differently. But yeah, this was, I mean, this fight and one fight earlier on the card were definitely the closest. I thought it could have gone either way, and yeah, you're right. Zaleski, he slowed down this fight. He definitely doesn't look as good as he once did, but I thought he looked pretty good in that first round, man. I wish he shot a little bit more in this fight. Like, I know he did shoot, I believe, for 3 or 4 takedowns. Didn't get any of them. I think he scrambled to get it to the mat at one point, but I don't think he officially got any takedowns in this fight. Man, I was just hoping he would be a little more heavy on that game plan, but he actually looked a little bit better on the feet. I think I know in the podcast I called Muslim Salikov overrated, and man, I think he probably proved my point to some people that thought this guy was like the second coming of Christ when it comes to striking. Because like, yeah, he's a great striker, but like, I don't know. I just wouldn't put him in the elite discussion. So it was a good fight. Props to Muslim. He's on a real nice win streak now. So in my opinion, he's got to get a top 15 guy next. So yeah, I like what you brought up, man. Let's give him Abdul Razak Alhassan once he wins on Wednesday night.
Man, Prediction Guru is talking a lot of shit on Razak. Dude, this guy last night told me that Neil Magny would beat Razak. What? Dude, that'd be a max bet, bro, for me on Razak. 100%.
That's a tough fight, dude. Magny would have like a big cardio advantage.
I still think fucking kill him.
That would just
like, honestly.
I don't want to call Razak first round or bust, but in that spot, like he might be first round KO or bust because if he gets to the second round with Magny would take over big.
I'm excited to talk about Razak later. He's one of my favorite prospects in the division. So next fight we had. I mean, Magny does have good cardio for sure. Macklin versus Danny Henry. Yeah. So pre-tape, I thought Henry was live, and then after I watched the tape, I had Mr. Finn win. I didn't bet him. I was thinking about it, and he went out there and looked like a minus 1,000. I mean, he didn't really do anything in the first 3 minutes, but Henry didn't either. It was kind of like a feeling out process. Damn, dude, Mr. Finwin's ground game is so good, dude. Like, dude, this kid's fucking Darce choke and his grappling, like everything about him, man. Like, dude, Mr. Finwin is no slouch, dude. Like, he is a good fighter. Like, he's not like in the top 15, but like, I feel like he's right outside of it. Like, he's a tough matchup, dude, for a lot of these guys. Like, I'm trying to think who they should match him up next. Like, I mean, they could give him a cupcake of a fight and give him Julian Erosa, but I don't think they're going to. I think they should give him maybe someone like, I don't know, dude. I'm trying to think. The top of my head, who the hell should he fight? Jeremy Stevens? I mean, I don't know. What do you think about the fight?
It was a good performance. One of the easiest money spots on the card. Props to anybody that bet Macwan, man. Like Justin said it, he looked minus 1,000 out there. I mean, once the fight got to the mat, it was over shortly after. So, man, props to him. He's got a sick choke on him. He looks bigger every single time too. Like Macwan is like low key one of the biggest fucking guys in the division. And that's saying something. Danny Henry is a pretty big guy for the division. And when I saw him square off, I'm like, yeah, dude, Macwan's fucking huge as well. And like, you might not have thought so just because he fought Shane Burgos last fight, and Shane Burgos he's probably the biggest fucking featherweight in the division. So kind of forgot about how damn big Macwan is. And man, tooled him when it come to the grappling. So good performance from him. I mean, I'd like to see Danny Henry get another step back down because like Danny Henry's like, yeah, he got smoked in the first round grappling wise, but I don't think he's a complete bum by any means. I think Danny Henry can still win UFC fights, but yeah, that was definitely not a good look.
No, it wasn't. Next fight, had Renier Santos versus Roman Bogatov.
Holy shit.
Crazy fight. Really crazy fight. I mean, Santos is 100% washed up. I mean, I'm excited to see who they match him up with next because if he's pretty decent, I'm fading him. I said it initially, like they should give him Benny, but I know Benny's fighting Holtzman. Oh God, Benny would fuck Santos up bad. Yeah, I mean, crazy fight. Bogatov's gonna win fights in the UFC, but yeah, I don't know who they should match him up with next. I'm gonna keep it short. What about you?
Yeah, I don't know if you can even matchmake for Leo Santos because we don't even know he's going to be in the UFC 3 years from now, and that's how often the guy fights. So, but anyway, yeah, that was. I mean, Jesus Christ, man, that was one of the weirdest fights I've ever seen. All the low blows, and then just the most ridiculous, blatant knee I've ever seen in my life. Actually, I shouldn't say that because I don't know if you guys saw the. It was on Fight Pass. I don't remember. Was it LFA that Boston Salmon fought on? There was some ridiculous illegal knee there. Boston Salmon got knocked out. That was one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. So, couple of blatant knees over the weekend in MMA. But yeah, Bogatov, dude. I mean, I don't want to say props to him because it's some pretty dirty, grimy shit. But like when you bet on guys, you definitely kind of in the back of your head would like them to win by any means necessary. So if you want to play a little bit of dirty tactics, hey, I'm all for that if I got money on you. I'm glad I didn't bet him, though, because he was severely outclassed here, even fighting a 40-year-old guy. I mean, you could clearly tell. But, Man, he was coming on strong in that third round. So I think Roman Bogdanov definitely has some qualities. Justin's right. He'll win some UFC fights. It's just Leo Santos was way too big of a step up for a debut.
Yeah, nice fight. I really don't want to talk about this one at all. Ty Bergh versus Grisham. Ty Bergh got the win. He just fucking, used his weight and shit and took him down. Probably the worst fight I've ever seen in my life. Congrats to everyone that bet Ty Bergh up next. Anything you want to say?
Dude, you're right. Congrats to anyone that bet Tibura because that was some again ridiculously easy money. So, and he was like pick 'em odds. So, and the thing is, I want to give him credit because he came in with the perfect game plan when you're fighting a guy that's 30 pounds less than you. I mean, you put their weight on them, you make them work, you slow them down. I mean, great vet performance from Marcin Tybura there. And I mean, you can still argue the guy's probably done if he fights a real heavyweight. It's just this was not the spot to fade Marcin Tybura. I'm glad neither of us did it.
Yeah, next fight we had Zouagas versus Paiva. Good fight. I mean, it was back and forth. I had no idea that Paiva had no cornerman. I guess he had to borrow someone. But yeah, Paiva won the fight for sure. But he's still 24 years old. He's still, a young guy. I mean, people are acting like he sucks and all this stuff. Zouagas is no slouch, dude. Zouagas is going to win fights, man, in the UFC. Yeah, he showed up for sure. He made it close. But yeah, Paiva definitely won the fight. And Paiva's serious, bro. Paiva's going to be, I feel like, a top 10 guy for a while, maybe even farther than that. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, man. I thought Zalgas fought really well. This is the other fight I was speaking to earlier to where it was a 50-50 fight, man. I mean, Paiva definitely won round one. Zalgas definitely won round three. And then it was that second round that was in question. And again, or maybe it was the third round for this fight. I don't know. There were so many damn close fights. Yeah, it was the third round that was in question in the Paiva fight. And yeah, I mean, watching it live, again, I haven't rewatched it. I've only seen it the one time. I just remember thinking 50-50 round, it could go either way. I have no problem with it. Luckily, the judges were on my side there and gave Paiva the win. But yeah, Justin's right. Zalgas is going to win UFC fights for sure. I actually think that, like, considering who he was fighting, even in a loss, that arguably was the best performance of Zalgas' career. So he's only getting better, man. And I'd like to see him back in there soon.
Next fight, Kerry Rose versus Mello. Rose got the win. All right. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, not really. I mean, yeah, not really.
All right. Next, Dave Grant versus Day. Congrats. That was a good bet on your part. I feel like, I mean, it was close. I feel like maybe 1-1 going the third, but I mean, I didn't expect Grant to knock him out like that. I don't think you did either, but I mean, he proved that he was the fucking better fighter, and damn, he fucking killed Day. But I mean, you were right though. I mean, about Day not being a good fighter because he's not. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, man. Funny story. I was talking. All you guys probably know Rockstar Z, my boy Kyle. We were DMing before this fight, and we were talking about his plays, and he took the under 2.5 rounds in this fight. He got like crazy plus 210 odds or something like that. I got plus 155 on Davy Grant, and I was kind of questioning why he bet the under 2.5 rounds. I'm like, bro, I don't see this fight getting finished by either guy. I see a clear cut Davy Grant wrestling based decision. And dude, even though like my read was completely off, I thought it would be wrestling. I thought Martin Day was going to be the way better striker here, but Davy actually looked great on the feet. And man, my boy Z took a bad beat, bro, because Davy Grant friggin' knocked him out like 8 seconds after that over 2.5 minute mark. It's crazy. I was saying, man, I hope Davy Grant knocks him out in under 2.5 rounds so we can both cash. And he fucking missed it by 8 seconds. I feel bad on that one. My boy Z has taken more bad beats than anybody. But yeah, dude, Davy Grant, that's the best he's ever looked on the feet by far. Martin Day, yeah, Z mentioned it to me. There was questions on his durability, and I think it definitely showed there. Not only his durability, like when guys pressure them, they almost always have success. The guy does not like to be pressured. He just likes to stay at kicking range and fight pretty out there, and it did not work against the vet Davy Grant. So yeah, I was happy to cash a big dog there.
Yeah, man. Let's get into this card, dude. So first fight of the night, we have, I believe, yeah, we do. We have Kenneth Bergh versus Jorge Gonzalez, and I'm gonna let you go first because you have a bet.
I do have a bet, bro. Crazy. I didn't think I was gonna have a bet on this fight for obvious reasons. It's a low level fight, but Then I saw them open the fight at minus 190 Kenneth Bergh, plus 150 Jorge Gonzalez, or he likes to go by George St. Gonzalez. Little ode to GSP there. I saw them open at plus 150. I took the shot on Jorge Gonzalez, man. It's funny. I watched tape like literally right before the odds dropped too. I'm thinking, oh man, these guys are neither guy is very good. It's going to be sloppy, bad gas tanks, numerous outcomes that could happen here. It's a coin flip fight, and then I see plus 150 odds. Had to take it on Jorge Gonzalez. It's crazy, man, because if you watch this guy's, he's very, very experienced. He has a lot of fights, over 20 fights, actually has more than double the experience Kenneth Bergh does. Been fighting a long time. And if you go watch his fights, like, what was it, like 2016, 2017, and prior, looked like a completely different guy, bro. Like he looked like what you would imagine a local scene jobber heavyweight would look like. You know, he's got the 250-pound heavyweight gun on him, man. But dude, he's been putting in work. I know he hired a nutritionist, strength and conditioning, like really taking the game seriously. And if you look at the side by side pictures he has on his Instagram, go check out his Instagram, George St. Gonzalez. I mean, this guy must have found the best doctor available in Mexico, because this is one of the biggest body transformations I've ever seen. And it shows in the performances too, man. He's stronger out there. He's more powerful out there. He's more athletic out there. I mean, this is a pure example starting to take shit seriously. And ever since he has, I mean, he is on a 7-1 run right now. Actually, maybe even 8-1. A first round knockout over a former UFC fighter in Luke Barnett. Only one loss being to an undefeated Russian in a title fight there. He was stopped there in the second round, and then he avenged that loss in his most recent fight. He actually fought 10 days ago, guys. So, I mean, there's no questions on whether this guy is ready, because, you know, he took the fight here on short notice. Kenneth Bergh's opponent was pulled. And so, you know, this guy is ready. I believe he has a power advantage on the feet, although I think Kenneth Bergh has a speed advantage on the feet. And then with the wrestling, I'd probably give a slight wrestling advantage to Bergh, even though if you really go back and watch his fights, he's not landed many takedowns, man. A lot of his wins are by like standing guillotine, or I've seen him get taken down and sub somebody. But I would give Kenneth Bergh the wrestling, and then the jiu-jitsu, man. That's really what both of these guys are known for. Most of their wins are by submission, and I believe they are both BJJ black belts. I know George St. Gonzalez is a BJJ black belt. I'm not sure on Bergh, but I'm pretty sure he is. So it's going to be very interesting if this fight hits the mat. But I actually see Jorge Gonzalez having the advantage there too. So I would line this fight pick him with maybe even a slight lean to Jorge Gonzalez, just the fact that he has over twice the experience. I've seen Kenneth Bergh pull some really bad stunts, man, and I've seen him get taken down and insta-subbed by middleweights before. So yeah, I'm going to go with Jorge Gonzalez. I think the opener was terrible, so let's go.
Yeah, man, this is a really close fight. It's a close fight. It's a jobber fight for a reason. Both these guys are really low level. You have the dog, so I mean, I hope you cash. It's one of those fights, dude, that I just want no part of. Gonzalez is definitely the better striker for sure. You know, he has power on the feet. I mean, most of his wins are by finish, to be honest. He's slow, but I mean, Bergh's slow too. It's really hard to trust Bergh because I mean, this guy's been subbed by Eric Spicely. He's been subbed by Trocoli on Tricoli on Contender Series, and he's slow, like I just mentioned, and he's not that good of a striker, really. I feel like the thing is that the reason why I'm going with Bergh here is because I feel like he has the better ground game. I feel like he has the better wrestling, and if he gets Gonzalez down, I feel like he can get him out of there. But I mean, Gonzalez could probably get him down too, and I'm choke him out. I wouldn't be surprised. But I just think that Bergh has a better ground game, and I think that he's going to get him down. I mean, you watch Bergh's fights. I mean, all of his fights, you know, he gets you down. But it's one of those fights, like I mentioned. I want no part of it. I'm not confident at all. I hope you catch Gonzalez because he's definitely the better striker. But the thing is, we've seen him get taken down, bro, like in the past. So that's why, like, I'm nervous if I ever wanted to pick Gonzalez. So I'm gonna go with Bergh by submission. I hope he cash. Not confident. So next fight we have Jack Shore versus Aaron Phillips. This is a very short breakdown for me. Aaron Phillips, I mean, he fought in the UFC like a long time ago. He's 0-2. I think it was in 2014. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't really fought the best competition, but I mean, he's not like a job or anything. Like he has pretty decent Muay Thai and stuff, but I just think that Jack Shore is the real deal. I think the kid's a great prospect. I think he's one of the best prospects in the division. He's probably going to be a top 10 guy, and maybe even farther than that. His grappling just legit. I think Jack Shore is going to go out there and make quick work and get Aaron Phillips out of there. So I got Jack Shore with a first round submission. What about you?
Yeah, man, I agree. I'm gonna go with no surprise. I'm gonna go with the minus 700 here. Phillips, he was in the UFC before, 0-2, man, and not just 0-2, 0-2 against Sam Cecilia and Matt Hobar. Not a good look at all. He also lost to Chris Gutierrez in his first fight outside the UFC. But dude, after that Chris Gutierrez fight, he took 3 years off. He came back. I mean, in my opinion, I mean, his physique is a little bit better. Again, man, a guy that's taking stuff a little bit more seriously, in my opinion. So, in my opinion, he's improved. He's won 5 fights straight. I think he's earned his way back into the UFC. That being said, he's at a massive skill differential here, man. Jack Shore is he's gonna have his way with this. Gonna take him down anyway. So Jack Shore, first round submission, and I mean, even though he's the most expensive fighter on DraftKings, I mean, you probably got to have him.
Yeah, man. Next fight we have Diana Belbita versus what is it, Liana Jouja. I'm gonna let you go first because you have another play.
Yes, sir. This is indeed my biggest play of the night as well. So it's funny, man. Diana Belbita, her UFC debut against Molly McCann. So, firstly, that was a short notice as well. And at the time, I actually, in Molly McCann, she was like a minus 600 favorite in that fight, or maybe even bigger, like huge, huge favorite. And that was just simply based on Diana Belbita's record. I mean, she hasn't beaten anybody. She's been submitted by a couple really bad fighters. So, I actually bet on Molly McCann to win that fight inside the distance. And dude, I mean, it was looking like it was going to catch a little bit there, but Diana Belbita showed some serious toughness, dude, and not even just toughness, man. I mean, in my opinion, none of the judges gave her that first round, by the way, but in my opinion, she won that first round. She threw 129 significant strikes in that first round, outlanded Molly McCann, not only just in that first round, but if you look at the striking stats, she outstruck Molly the entire fight. It just so happened that, Molly McCann, she's a top 15 fighter, firstly. Very good. That was a short notice debut. Molly's a strong wrestler, man. So she was able to get her down, have her way with the grappling. But man, in my opinion, that was a very mature and improved Diana Belbita. Like, dude, if you go and look at her fights from even 2017, 2018, when she was like 21 years old, it was bad, man. The striking technique was really bad. The punches were, I mean, she looked like just a girl fighting at like your local high school or some shit. Like it was a bad look, but dude, I mean, if there's a fighter I've seen make more improvements in that short amount of time, it's Diana Belbita, and really the reason for that. So, a little backstory on her. So she's from Romania, and she was put in they have like the school of sports out there, just like in Russia. And she was put into that at an early age. She started kickboxing at like age 10 or something like that. And then the owner of a gym in Canada, where Kyle the Monster Nelson trains, another UFC fighter, really good fighter, Kyle Nelson. The owner of that gym, actually, he's Romanian. He stays in Canada now in that gym. He actually brought her over there, and now she's training with Kyle Nelson. And it was really since then she made that transition to Canada to train with Kyle Nelson and those guys. That's when I noticed the massive improvements in her game. And then on the other side, man, Liana Jouja. I mean, where do I start with this girl, bro? I mean, so she comes in against Sarah Moras, who you guys know Sarah Moras. She's fought in the UFC for a while now. She's a 500 fighter, virtually zero striking. Her grappling is that's what people talk about is Morris's grappling, but even then, I think Morris's grappling is fucking terrible. It's just like she has tricky submissions, especially off her back. So she came in there. She was a big favorite too. Keep in mind, I mean, of course, she's fighting Sarah Morris, a 5-5 chick. And dude, when I talk about literally one of the biggest stunts I've ever seen in my entire life. So the first round starts. Jouja, I mean, she's basically not. I mean, she looked shell shocked in there. Like she just couldn't throw, and she was letting Morris pressure her and outstrike her. And then she started to look a little bit better in that second round. Won the second round. Started to look a little good in that third round too. But like, dude, when she started gassing and Morris started landing some good shots, dude, like you could see it in her eyes. She just didn't want to be there, man. So she takes Sarah Morris down. She's in top control. Sarah Morris is throwing up some triangle chokes, and all of a sudden Jouja just stands up off the top control. Like she just stands up and lets Morris back up. Like, what are you doing? You're in this fight's arguably 1-1. You're on top, and you just decide to stand up for no good reason. So obviously Sarah Morris stands back up. What is the first thing Liana Jouja does as soon as Sarah Morris stands up? She tries to take her back down. Why would you let her get back up if you just plan on trying to get back into the exact same position? It was one of the most bizarre, horrible things I've ever seen. And so Morris stuffs that takedown, gets on top. Liana Jouja completely quits. This girl has no heart. I'm telling you guys right now, this girl, I'm not even going to say she's not UFC material. I don't think this girl is a fighter, man. I think this girl is an Instagram model. I think she's the second coming of Nadia Kassem. And if you really go and watch that fight against Sarah Morris and then watch Deanna Belbita's fight against a ranked opponent in Molly McCann where Belbita outstruck her, won that first round, guys, this is a total mismatch. And I'm sure this is going to surprise a lot of you guys because you look at the record and you see it's a low-level fight. And Belbita's been submitted by terrible fighters like Ariane Lipski before. But, guys, you got to take improvements into account. Belbita has improved. She's going to absolutely whoop Jouja on the feet. I'm going to say she TKOs her in the first round. I think she breaks her down easily.
Yeah, dude, I got Belbita too. I'm not like that confident like you, and I don't want to bet her at juice and all that, but I mean, yeah, she's just definitely, I think, gonna win this fight. A lot better on the feet. I mean, the fact that Jouja lost the cheesecake, I mean, it's pretty bad. She gassed too, really bad. But I mean, Belbita's been tapped out 3 times, so I mean, would it surprise me if she lost this fight? No, but I do think that she's gonna win. She has a good uppercut. She has a good jab. And she's tough, dude. She has a good chin. But yeah, I got Belbita here by decision, but I'm not confident. But I hope you cash this bet. So next fight, I believe, is this the one we do? We have Chris Fishgold versus Jared Gordon. All right, dude. This is a good fight, man. I mean, these are both jobbers in my opinion. This is a low-level fight. I really wanted to bet Fishgold here, but I can't do it. I'm gonna pick him to get the win because I feel like Jared Gordon's chin is just so fucking done. I mean, he's been knocked out 3 of his last 4 fights. His only win in those 4 fights is against Dan Moret, and Dan Moret fucking hurt him on the feet. But the thing in this fight is, like I mentioned, I'm picking Fishgold, but Fishgold's not really that good of a striker, dude. He really isn't, man. I mean, yeah, he tabbed Kattar like in the first round, but I mean, I think Kattar was kind of caught off guard. I mean, we'll talk about Kattar later, but yeah, dude, Fishgold is not really that good of a fighter. Like he's a grappler. He has a good ground game, and Gordon has a good ground game as well. On the feet, I actually think Gordon might be the better striker, dude. Gordon probably has the better boxing. And Gordon has a better cardio too. That's what makes this fight so interesting, dude. If Fishgold doesn't get that finish in the first round, he's gonna lose. I mean, he's a front runner, man. But the thing is, Gordon gasses too. He does, but I do think that he has the better gas tank than Fishgold. I think he has the better boxing, but I can't pick Gordon to win because that chin is just fucking terrible, dude. So I'm gonna go with Fishgold with a first round finish, but I'm not confident at all. I cannot bet. I cannot. This is one of those fights I just want no part of. DraftKings maybe, but I'm just gonna be sitting on my couch eating, a nice big fucking juicy burger from In-N-Out, and I'm not going to bet this fight. But anyone that bets this fight, I mean, you guys are going to be sweating your ass off because this fight could go either way. So I got Fishgold, not confident because Jared Gordon can 100% win this fight. Who do you got, Kelton?
Yeah, bro, I agree with you. This fight is kind of a shit show, honestly. Like, I don't view either guy as having a high ceiling at all, but great matchmaking in my opinion. I think it's it's well evenly matched. I think both guys have a good path to victory here, and man, I think this fight is great for DraftKings because Fishgold, man. I mean, he's coming out for that first round finish, and man, he's got a guy in front of him with durability issues. I do believe he can take down Jared Gordon. He's been taken down before. So I mean, I can see Chris Fishgold doing his thing, his his little front running game, and finish Jared Gordon here in the first round. But oh man, if he does not finish Jared Gordon in the first round, I'm telling you guys right now, Jared Gordon has a massive cardio advantage. In my opinion, he has a massive, toughness and heart advantage as well. If this fight hits the second round, look for Jared Gordon to take over, man. I think he's going to land takedowns of his own. I think he's going to beat up Fishgold on the feet. Arguably even put him away late, man. But I'm going to go with Jared Gordon via 29-28 decision. I think he is going to survive that first round. I think Fishgold will win it. I think he will put Jared Gordon in bad spots, but once it hits the second round, man, I think the cardio and the just the overall work ethic of Jared Gordon will take over. So I'm going to go with the favorite 29-28 decision. And another thing, Jared Gordon, he's known for scoring very high in DraftKings as well. So you're going to want some of both sides in this fight, in my opinion.
Yeah, man. Next fight, we got Modestas. How do you pronounce this guy? Modestas what?
Bukauskas.
Bukauskas versus Andreas. What is it? Michailidis?
Michailidis, I think.
Michailidis. Who do you got in this fight?
Man, this is again, this is kind of another shit show fight, man. But again, like it's some of these shit show fights on this card, like the first fight, Jorge Gonzalez, Kenneth Bergh, Jared Gordon, Fishgold. This fight, yeah, they're kind of shit shows. They're kind of low level, but great matchmaking, dude. This is going to be. I'm calling it now. This is going to be one of the most exciting cards of the year because these guys right here, these two light heavyweights. Well, I say light heavyweights, but Michailidis is actually a middleweight. These guys right here are about to stand and bang until one man falls, bro. This is going to be a hell of a fight. Michailidis packs a hell of a punch. Man, obviously, Bukauskas, he is a big favorite in this fight. He is the Cage Warriors light heavyweight champion. He hasn't lost in a few years. He took a bad knockout loss against a 5-11 guy 4 years ago, but he has bounced back. He's finished every single fight since then, I believe. No, he went. That's right. He went to the fourth round. So he's out there finishing fights in championship rounds these days. Even though you can argue that the Cage Warriors light heavyweight division is complete trash. This guy's been the king of that division, man. And I mean, being a world champion in a big organization like that, it's no small feat. And then you got this guy Michailidis, who actually has a first round knockout win over former UFC fighter Marcel Fortuna. This guy right here is super exciting, man. I mean, he just comes out looking for that knockout, big power. He's a big guy too. I don't know if he's going to be. Obviously, he's going to be a lot shorter than Bukauskas here. Bukauskas is 6'3", has a little bit of tall man's defense though. But this guy, yeah, he's definitely going to be shorter. He's going to be swinging up a lot, and that's not going to be good because this guy Michailidis does not really have the best gas tank in the world. I believe he's went past the first round 3 times, and he's lost 2 out of 3 of those fights. Just clear lack of gas tank. So, especially taking this fight, I believe, on short notice. Michailidis is arguably first round knockout or bust, but I'm not going to completely write it off. I think he could get it here against a guy with defensive flaws like Bukauskas. So I'm going to go with Bukauskas, though. I'm going to say he gets a knockout after Michailidis gasses out in the second round. So Bukauskas, second round, KO.
Yeah, I got Bukauskas too, man. I definitely think that, this is one of those fights that I want no part of, honestly. Both these guys are just, I feel like, not that good. Michailidis, man, the guy gasses every fight. I feel like he has to get that finish in the first round. He could. He has a lot of finishes, but Bukauskas, man, the guy has good cardio and he's tough. He has a good chin. He comes back. He's a slow starter. He gets taken down so easy. That's the only thing. He has no ground game. But yeah, I got him. I think he's gonna win the second round, but I'm not confident at all. Next fight, this is a really good fight. We got Lerone Murphy versus Ricardo Ramos. This is a good fight, man. I've been going back and forth this fight. But yeah, I'm not betting it, but I got to go with the dog, man. I got to go with Murphy. I think he's the better striker. I like the way that he sets up his double jab and then throws a straight right. I definitely think he's the better striker. Ramos has good striking too, but I feel like he has to decide down on the mat. I mean, he has a great ground game. He has good grappling, and yeah, Murphy did get taken down by Zabaru. I feel like he has to. If he doesn't take him down, he's gonna get picked apart on the feet. I mean, Murphy's more technical. I feel like he has good pressure. He's a bigger fighter. Ramos, looks big at 45, but dude, Murphy is huge featherweight, man. Good body kicks as well. Good cardio. And like I mentioned, Ramos has a good jab, and he has good hands as well and good pressure. But I just think that he gets hit a lot, and I think he's tough on the feet. But I think he's just not as technical as Murphy. And Murphy's fight with Barr was close, man. I mean, do I agree with the draw? No, I feel like Sabaru won the fight, but I mean, I still think Murphy looked good in it, dude. I mean, Murphy showed that he's no slouch, and he's definitely, a good prospect. So I'm gonna go with Murphy. I think that he's gonna keep it on the feet. I think he can get taken down a couple times. He needs to mind his P's and Q's because Ramos has a really good ground game, dude. I mean, Ramos has better jiu-jitsu than Zabaru for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Murphy, but I'm not confident. That's why I'm not betting him because I think Ramos is a good fighter as well. So I got Murphy. Pass. What about you?
Man, this is a very, very interesting fight. One artist to pick for me, man, which is interesting because I was actually looking at Ricardo Ramos. Like, my thought process was, I mean, we saw Lerone Murphy get taken down. We know that's his weakness. And we know Ricardo Ramos, I mean, it's funny, man. I remember when this kid first came in the UFC at like 21 years old, Mishinori Tanaka. I bet Ramos there. It was a super close fight. He was super green, but like you could see this guy's really good. But he's a vet at this point now, guys. Like he's had a lot of UFC fights. He's getting better every single time. Now he's at a more realistic weight class in a 145 as well. I mean, dude, he was not going to keep making that 135 forever. I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, the guy's definitely grown up. He's in the right weight class now. And, Lerone Murphy on the other side, I kind of feel like he is where Ricardo Ramos was maybe a couple of years ago, man. Still kind of green. He's only, 8-0. He's got less than 10 pro fights, only one UFC fight under his belt. Granted, he did look pretty good in that fight, in my opinion, against a guy in Rivera Chahugov who was no slouch whatsoever. So, man, this is an interesting fight because if Ricardo Ramos isn't able to get this fight to the mat, like I suspect that he is fucked because, dude, he does not like pressure. Pressure breaks him. Power breaks him. You saw Saeed Nurmagomedov, go out there and just put him away easily. Lerone Murphy's got power on those hands, and he's got hands in general, man. The guy can absolutely box with the best in the division. I like Lerone Murphy. I just kind of think he hasn't quite paid his dues like a Ricardo Ramos has. So I do think Ricardo Ramos, he might eat a couple big shots in the early going, but I eventually see him getting this fight to the mat and taking them back and choking out Lerone Murphy. But it's a very good fight, man. And I think at the current odds, it might be dog or pass. It's just, I'd rather sit back and watch.
Yeah, man. So next fight, dude, this is a fucking good fight, man. We got John Phillips versus Kazmat Chimaev, or is that how you pronounce it? I don't even know.
Chimaev.
Chimaev. Who do you got in this fight?
Man, I'm gonna go with the big favorite here, man. The undefeated Khamzat Chimaev. Dude, I mean, this guy looked. I mean, I don't know how much tape you watched on this guy, but like he's fucking good, man. Like for sure. Like I think he's rightful to be a big favorite here, man. I mean, John Phillips, yeah, he's super exciting. I mean, sometimes he's not even exciting. Sometimes he has real shitty fights, but for the most part, he's exciting. That knockout factor is always there. They don't call him the White Mike Tyson for nothing. The guy can definitely put you the fuck out if he catches you with something good. So absolutely, this newcomer needs to mind his P's and Q's. And, he is only 6-0. This is his UFC debut. You can argue he still is green, although he is a lifelong, martial artist for sure. I just think you can't bet this guy at this really big price because John Phillips is a guy with, big danger, man. Like, although I would say John Phillips is he kind of sucks. Let's be honest here. He doesn't have much of a ground game, and even his overall striking technique is bad. It's just he's got big power and he's kind of a scary dude. So I mean, he can definitely beat you if you're not on your shit, especially a 6-0 guy like this. And he's way more experienced. I mean, John Phillips has a 22-9 record. He has what, like 7 times, 7 times the fucking experience this guy does. So yeah, I would just pass from this fight completely, but I'm gonna go with Chimaev. I think he's a good prospect for sure, and I think he's smart enough to get this fight to where he knows he has a big advantage, and that's the ground. So I'm gonna say he comes out here, has a sketchy first round where he kind of needs to get his feet in the water. It's his UFC debut. Maybe he has a little jitters, but I think in that second round he'll get a little bit more comfortable. He'll get this fight to the mat, and he will submit John Phillips in the second round.
Yeah, I watched a good amount of tape from this one, man. I'm really excited for Chimaev to drop back down to 170 because he's a welterweight. I think that he's going to win a lot of fights at 170, man. This guy's a really good prospect. He's huge. He's not going to be that undersized against Phillips. I mean, Phillips is big, but I mean, Chimaev's a pretty big guy, man. I mean, especially at 170. So 185, I feel like he's not going to be a small guy. Really nice right uppercut he hit, and I think it was not his last fight, but the one before that. I mean, dude, he fucking KO'd that dude with that uppercut. The thing with this guy is he has good striking, but he has a really good ground game and good grappling. And you know what beats Phillips? A guy that has a ground game. I mean, look at Charles Bergh. I mean, Holland. I mean, dude, Phillips has no ground game. But if Chimaev tries to brawl with him on the feet, he's gonna get knocked the fuck out because Phillips definitely has power for sure. And Phillips, he's just a dude. I mean, I thought he beat Marshman. I bet him there, but he just didn't go after it in the last round. You saw his last fight though. I mean, dude, he has fucking heavy fucking hands. Dude, really fucking good straight left. Good chin too. But he's a jobber, bro. He's at the bottom of the division. I thought he was actually gonna beat Dusko, to be honest. I was gonna bet him versus Dusko. That tall man's defense, he was gonna smoke him. But Chimaev has great grappling, and anyone that has any kind of grappling is gonna beat Phillips. So I got Chimaev by a first round submission, and I'm really excited for him to fight at 170 his next fight. So next fight, is it my turn or yours? It's my turn. Okay, so we got Razak Alhassan versus, how do you pronounce his name? Munier.
I think it's Munier, but I could be wrong.
Munier Lazzez. I'll say right now that, Lazzez is no slouch. I think that he's not a job or anything. Like, yeah, he's only fought cans and all that stuff, but and yeah, he lost to the guy that is 12-1 that beat Khabib or whatever. But I mean, he's 9-1. He's 32. I don't think he's a job or anything. I just think this is a really bad matchup for him. I mean, he's a brawler. He likes to go forward and swing, and I mean, you're doing that with the heaviest hitter at 170. Yes, Razak Alhassan is the heaviest hitter. Just because he took a 2-year absence because all the legal shit, I'm happy that he's back, dude. I mean, this guy is such a fucking good fighter, man. I mean, yeah, you can say that he really hasn't fought anyone besides Nico Price and Omari Akhmedov, because besides that, he fucking beat fucking cans and all that stuff. And I mean, I've heard people say, well, Razak got dropped against Sabah Hamasi. That means he's gonna get dropped here. I mean, he got dropped against Sabah because he fucking was brawling and fucking got dropped. Like, wow, dude. Like,
Sabah Hamasi hits hard.
Yeah, like Sabah hits like a truck. I don't think people realize that. Razak is literally, dude, heavy fucking hands. He's so athletic, dude. I mean, great jab, good right hand, good straight left. I mean, his line is just, he's too steep, but I think this is easy money. I think Razak's gonna go out there and fucking sweep this guy so early. But Lazzez will be back. I think that he'll win fights in UFC, but his style is just not made for a guy like Razak, man. I mean, the fact that Razak went out there and smoked Nico Price, who's a top 20 guy, in my opinion, that was a really good win. And I mean, Razak held his own against Omari too. I mean, one judge scored it for him as well. I just think that Razak's so much faster than him, bro. He's just so much faster than Lazzez and just so much more athletic, and his striking is fucking serious. I cannot wait to see him fight more in the UFC. So I got Razak first round KO. What about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with man. I'm gonna go with Razak Alhassan as well by first round KO. This guy Lazzez though, man, like he's definitely got some advantages in the fight. In the fact that he is 6'2". He does have I would assume he has a big reach advantage here. I actually can't find his reach here anywhere on any of the sure dogs or Tapologies, but I'm going to assume he has a big reach advantage here, man. And he's super exciting. He throws a lot of unorthodox shit, a lot of spinning shit. Man, I mean, I kind of feel like just in the fact I don't think Abdul Razak Alhassan is a lock by any means, just because like I'm not looking too much into the layoff, but like I mean that first couple minutes getting your feet back in the octagon after a lot of time, I mean it is going to be a little tough for anybody. And this guy he at the beginning when he has a lot of energy and he's throwing all that crazy shit, man. I mean there is a slight chance he could catch Abdul Razak Alhassan, which would be very crazy and a big upset in my mind. I'm just saying it can happen, and I think offensively this guy is very talented. It's just, man, when it comes to the defense, I mean, he can just be real stiff sometimes. He doesn't move his head sometimes. He's just open to be hit, man, and being open to being hit against a guy like Abdul Razak Alhassan, I think as soon as Abdul Razak Alhassan is able to, find his range and overcome that height and reach advantage, I think as soon as he's able to get comfortable in there, he's going to lay some hands on this guy. He's probably going to give him his first knockout loss of his career. So I think Munier Lazzez has a future inside the UFC, but they could not have given him like one of the more worst matchups in my opinion. Like, I mean, you don't want to fight a power puncher if you got those kind of defensive flaws. So yeah, Razak's going to put him out. You're muted, buddy.
All right, man. Call the next one.
All right. So next fight we got. Ooh, this is a good one, man. I'm super excited about this fight. I'm actually, man, and I see a lot of people disrespecting one of the sides here, but I actually really like both these girls, man. And I think the pick'em odds are about right, even though I have seen most people disagreeing about that. So you got Molly McCann taking on Taila Santos. I don't have the odds pulled up, but I believe they're still around pick'em. Man, so I was talking about Molly McCann earlier in the Diana Belbita fight. Molly McCann is a girl who, I mean, I can go dig through Justin's YouTube channel and find videos of us shit-talking Molly McCann, but man, were we wrong about Molly McCann, because this girl is super fucking tough. She makes improvements every fight. She looks in better shape every single fight, man, and again, that's more to speak on like my confidence in Diana Belbita, the fact that she went out there and freaking outstruck this version of Molly McCann. That was Molly McCann's most recent fight, and she was able to go out there and not only just show off her boxing, man, like she's got a serious wrestling and grappling game as well. And I think that's the path that she's going to want to take here against Taila Santos, guys, because man, like some of these group chats I'm in on Twitter, some of these tweets I see some serious disrespect in Taila Santos, and that's simply because of the fact that, she did lose to a pretty bad fighter last time in Mara Romero Barella. But, man, just the thing was she showed obvious signs of jitters. She just was not able to get it going. It wasn't looking good, man, and I actually bet Taila Santos in that fight too. But, man, as soon as she got comfortable in there in that third round, she started to tee off bad on Mara Romero Barella. I thought it arguably could have been scored a draw, man, because that was a big round for her. I think she has serious striking credentials. If she can keep this fight on the feet with Molly McCann, I think she can make it very, very close. I would actually lean her with the striking, man. I mean, Molly might have a little bit better hands with the boxing, but Taila with the kicks as well. She's got that Brazilian striking style. She's a winner too, man. I mean, even with that loss against Barella, she's still like 15-1. I mean, man, I just don't get the disrespect on Taila Santos here. People calling her a complete jobber because she lost to a bad fighter, but I don't think you can look too much into just one fight, one small sample size, because this girl really is a good striker, and if Molly McCann can't get her down, man, I think Taila wins. That being said, it's tough, man. I kind of want to pick Molly just because I like the improvements she's been making. She is, I mean, she's pretty seasoned in the octagon at this point. Taila only one fight, so it's definitely a tough go around for Taila here. Man, I want to pick Molly McCann because I feel like that is the right spot, but then again, I want to pick Taila just because I see nobody picking her. So Fuck it. I'm going to go with Tyler Santos here. I'm going to say she keeps it on the feet for at least 2 rounds, and I'm going to say she outstrikes Molly McCann. But it's a close fight, guys.
Yeah, man. It's a good fight. I got Meatball here, though, man. I think Meatball's the better fighter. I think that she has better boxing. I think Santos has better kicks. Like you said, she's a good striker. But anybody that loses to Barella is, I mean, come on, bro. Barella's the fucking worst fighter of all time. And the fact that she lost a close fight to her, that's embarrassing. We saw that you can take her down. Meatball's grappling has improved so much, dude. I remember we used to call her a joke when she fought Roberson, but she's been on a 3-fight winning streak. And, dude, she's putting some work, man. I mean, she even said, I know she called Tatiana Suarez because she wanted to meet up with her and work on her wrestling. I don't know if they actually met up, but I mean, you could just see in her last 3 fights. I mean, Meatball's been using her wrestling, and she has really good pressure. She has a good jab. She does get hit a lot, but I do think that she's the better fighter and she's gonna get the dub. So I'm gonna go with Meatball with the decision. Next fight, I believe this is we got Jimmy Rivera versus Cody Stamann. Let me get my notes real quick because this is my first play of the night. I believe you have a play on here as well. I have 2 units on Cody Stamann at plus 115. I think he's the better fighter here, man. I mean, Jimmy Rivera is, no slouch. He's been around for a long time. But I do think he's washed up and 1 foot out the door. He's lost 3 out of his last 4 fights. Yes, they're against good fighters, but if you just watch him in those fights, I mean, his chin is so bad. He gets dropped in every fight. And I know a lot of people, including you, are going to say, well, Cody Stamann does not hit hard at all. I would not be surprised at all if Cody Stamann dropped him, to be honest. I mean, I think that Rivera has good boxing. I think he has the better boxing, but I do think that Stamann has more ways to win this fight. I think Stamann actually throws more. I think he has more volume. I think Stamann has way better defense on the feet. And I think Stamann's technical, man. I mean, Stamann has a good jab, a good right hand. He's faster, in my opinion. I think that, both these guys have good cardio. Stamann's way more durable, and he has a grappling advantage. So, I mean, I do think the Stamann could take him down, but I don't really think he needs to. I think he can just outstrike him, win a decision. I mean, like I mentioned, he throws more. He has more volume. Rivera's kind of low output. He has 1 foot out the door, and I think Stamann fighting at 45 is only going to be an advantage. This guy is so fucking big, dude, for the division. You can say Rivera's a big guy too, but Stamann had his best performance last fight against Kelleher, and I mean, that was at 45, dude. I mean, this guy walks around like a 180, dude, so I feel like he's going to look even better at 145. Yeah, man, I really think he's more technical than Rivera too. I feel like the only way Rivera can win this fight is with the boxing. I mean, I definitely don't think he can knock him out. I mean, I think he can only win a decision, but I mean, I just see Stamann, dude, winning this fight, man. More ways than Rivera can, man. I mean, Stamann's serious, dude. Stamann is a really good fighter, and Rivera is a good fighter, but he has 1 foot out the door. He's washed up. He gets dropped every fucking fight. Low output, dude. I got Stamann, man, and I'm confident, dude. I got Stamann with the decision win. I think Stamann's going to look really good here, and I'm actually going to, go out on a limb here and say that Stamann drops Rivera multiple times, and I think Stamann gets him down too. So I got Stamann 30-27 decision. What about you?
Yeah, man. So my first instinct when I, looked into this fight, my immediate thought was, whoa, both these guys are decisionators. Like, I mean, 99% of these guys' fights go to decision. So I'm just like, oh my God. And stylistically, how they match up, I don't see either guy finishing each other. I mean, you mentioned that Cody might drop Jimmy Rivera here. Jimmy Rivera ain't getting dropped by pillow fist Cody Stamann, bro. That's not going to happen in my opinion.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Oh, but one more thing, one more thing, real quick. I didn't mention. My bad. Stamann has a really good left head kick too, and I mean we've seen Rivera get dropped by a lot of head kicks, but Stamann's just so much. Stamann's a faster guy. Stamann's a lot faster, bro, than him. I'm telling you right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, but you know what's going to happen to him? You didn't even mention it. Jimmy Rivera is about to chop him up with those leg kicks that he's known for, that he's done so many times. Jimmy Rivera has some of the strongest leg kicks in the bantamweight division, bro. And of course, training at Tiger Schulman's with Shane Burgos and all those great strikers. I'm going to tell you right now, bro, Jimmy Rivera is the better striker. He has the better boxing. He's got those leg kicks. He's going to chop Stamann down. And, man, I mean, when it comes to the wrestling – yeah, Cody Stamann's a great wrestler. He's got a great record. I bet Cody Stamann in his last fight. I'm a big fan of the guy. He's a winner. But the thing is, Jimmy Rivera, if there's, I mean, there's a lot of great attributes about Jimmy Rivera, in my opinion, but he's got a 95% takedown defense rate, guys. And You know, a lot of the times we talk about the fraudulent stats, you know, deceiving takedown defense rates or deceiving strike differentials, shit like that. But like, man, this is no deceiving 95% takedown defense. Jimmy Rivera actually stuffed 7 out of 7 takedowns against Aljamain Sterling. The guy has great takedown defense. It's going to be very, very hard. He's also extremely short and stocky, so I mean that's just what helps him in general. Aside from just the great, you know, technique in the takedown defense. So I do see him stopping the takedowns of Cody Stamann, and I do see him boxing up and chopping him down with leg kicks. You know, you brought up the Peter Yan fight, man. We everyone knows that seen that fight. Jimmy Rivera straight up outstruck Peter Yan. It's just that chin, man. It's just the chin. It's just questioning like where his head's at. But man, I've been seeing the guy on Twitter, Jimmy Rivera. He's been on Twitter. He's been calling for fights. He seems very ready, very hungry to get back in there and get a win, get back on track, man. So yeah, so I couldn't bet the over, obviously, because that's out of range. But so I outright favor Jimmy Rivera here. I saw Jimmy Rivera wins by decision plus 150. I thought that's just a terrible line, man, because the guy I outright favor, you know, he's a minus 140 right now. But him winning by decision plus 150, that makes no sense because he's not going to knock out Cody Stamann. Cody Stamann has a great chin. I don't believe he's ever been knocked out before. He's not going to submit Cody Stamann. So if Jimmy Rivera wins this fight, it's by decision. The guy's a fucking decisionator. So to see that prop at plus 150, I had to take it all day long. I believe it's plus 125 now, so I beat it. So it's funny. Me and Justin are going against each other, but we both got plus money in one form or another. So may the best man win. It is a great fight, but I see Jimmy Rivera getting back on track here.
It's just Staman's just so much more defensively too. Like he doesn't get hit that much either, and he has a really good chin. But if you want to bring up like past fights and all this stuff, Stamann 100% beat Song Yadong. Imagine what Song Yadong would do to Rivera. Song Yadong would send Jimmy Rivera in the fourth.
Who cares? He's not fighting Song Yadong.
He would send him in the fourth row. But if we're talking about the matchup here, I really think that Rivera has the better boxing, and that's it. I think that Cody's better everywhere else. I think that, like I mentioned, he's the faster guy. He has a grappling advantage. He has more weapons on the feet. He has the way better defense. I think he's more technical than Rivera too. I feel like on the feet, yeah, Rivera has better boxing, but Cody has way more weapons in boxing, dude. He has really good head kicks as well. And Cody has really good boxing too, dude. I mean, I feel like it's really, really close, dude. But just the thing that the main reason why I'm picking Stamann is that I feel like, dude, just he's washed, man. He's on the decline. Yeah, he's lost to good fighters, but it's the chin, dude. He's getting dropped by all these guys. I 100% think that he's damaged goods, and I think this Cody's gonna drop him. Dude, Cody hits like a truck, dude. He really does. Look at his last fight against Kelleher, dude. Kelleher has a good chin. Kelleher just ate all those shots because he has a good chin. I definitely think that Cody can hurt him here, but I don't think Cody's gonna knock him out or anything. But I think Cody's really technical too, dude. You can't just sit here and say Rivera's technical because Cody's really technical. Cody's a point fighter. I mean, that's his game, bro. He wins these fights, man. So, I mean, I got the guys more motivated. So, next fight. I can't not wait to talk about this one. We got Ryan Benoit versus Tim Elliott. Where's my notes? All right, hold on real quick. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first? Because I'm looking for my notes.
Hey, you got to play, man. I'll let you go first.
I found him. All right. So, I mean, I botched this line. God damn it, man. I mean, I got a good line on Fury last week, but I mean, damn, I botched all three of my plays so far. Benoit, I bet plus 100. He's plus 110 now. I think anything at plus one, at plus money is a good bet here. I think it's a good matchup for him, man. I know he's an inconsistent fighter. He's 3-3 in his last 6, and yeah, he's been taken down before and all that stuff. But one thing about him, he's in a lot of close fights. I know his last fight against Alating, up a weight class, I thought he looked good. I mean, I actually thought he won the fight, but it is what it is. Alating beat him, and got some takedowns. But in this fight, dude, I like Tim Elliott. I met him. I have a picture with him, but I just think he's completely done. He's washed up. He has no cardio anymore. His chin is deteriorating. And on the feet, I think Benoit has a really big advantage here. I don't care what anyone says. I'm sure I'm going to get shit on for this. Benoit's one of the heaviest hitters in the division by far. I mean, the guy has a really good straight left. Really, he rips the body. Nice. He ripped the body of Alating so nice last fight. Great head kick, dude. I mean, really good fucking left head kick. Good jab too. I mean, I think down the feet it's a mismatch, and on the mat, Elliot Haskins fight down the mat. He's a grappler. Obviously, that's what he's going to do. But Benoit has a good get up game, bro. I mean, he really does, man. So, I mean, Elliot's going to have to control him and get him out of there, man, to get the win. And I think that Benoit's going to get right back up and piece him on the feet. I got Benoit by KO. I really think that he's going to knock out Tim Elliott. And, I mean, Tim Elliott's I just don't see how he's fighting, man. I mean, his gas tank's terrible. His chin's bad. He has no striking. He has no defense on the feet. Yeah, he has good grappling, but he has to go out there and just get Benoit out of there early, because if he doesn't, he's going to lose, man. And like I mentioned, if you watch the tape, Benoit has a good get-up game. He really does. So I'm going to go with Ryan Benoit by finish. I wouldn't be surprised if Benoit tapped Elliott out either. I mean, he has a good guillotine as well, dude. So the thing is, Benoit's inconsistent, and you could say that he's a jobber. I don't think he's a jobber. I just think it's all about the matchup. I don't give a fuck if Benoit's not like going to be a top 15 guy and all this stuff, or top 10 guy. It's all about Tim Elliott, and Tim Elliott's I'm fading the fuck out of Tim Elliott, and I think Benoit is has what it takes to beat him. So, like I mentioned, he rips the body really nice, good straight left, good head kicks. I got Benoit first round KO. What about you?
So even though I'm not going to bet it, I'm actually going to confidently, highly disagree with you, man. I'm going to go with Tim Elliott in this fight, and I think it's actually a really, really good matchup for him to do his thing. So obviously we know Tim Elliott by now. Really good wrestler, good grappler. It's just go all out, and if I don't get the fucking finish, I'm screwed, because I'm going to gas the hell out. That's what happened last time when he fought a real good, durable, tough guy in Brandon Royval. When Tim Elliott slowed down, Royval was able to, use his good grappling of his own, and he submitted Tim Elliott. Big props to anybody that bet Royval there. But, man, I think this is a very, very different matchup. I don't think Ryan Benoit has the kind of grappling chops that Royval does. And, Royval, obviously, we knew he was going to get taken down going into that, because that guy definitely does not have good takedown defense. And you know what? Ryan Benoit does not have good takedown defense as well, because you mentioned he looked good in that Alatang fight, bro. I kind of disagree. I thought he looked bad there, but, I mean, the thing was, he was coming off a big layoff, so I don't know if I can hold that too much against him. He might look a little bit more comfortable here, but, man, if you're getting taken down by Haile Alatang 4 times, that is not a good look against a wrestler here in Tim Elliott. We've seen Ryan Benoit submitted in the past. If he gets submitted here, that's going to make his 3rd UFC sub loss. And I'm going to say this is the perfect spot for Tim Elliott to come out here and front run. I'm going to say he takes down Ryan Benoit in the first round, takes his back, and submits him. But, of course, we all know this. If that does not happen, and this fight gets into the second round, hey, Ryan Benoit's got power, man. I mean, he does have a knockout win over Sergio Pettis, so it's probably a good live betting spot. If you see this fight hit the second round, hammer that Benoit possible plus money if he gets dominated in the first round. But, yeah, I'm going to go with Tim Elliott. I'm going to say he front runs, gets that first round sub. But I wish you luck, bro, because there's no way I'm ever going to pay a favorite price on Tim Elliott. So good luck.
Yeah, man. Next fight, man. Main event. We got Calvin Kattar versus Dan Ige. I'll let you go first, because I went first the last 2 fights.
All right, man. So, yeah, main event. This is a great fucking fight, man. I've been a huge fan of Calvin Kattar ever since he made his debut against Andre Fili, where he won as like a plus 250 underdog, just completely outclassed Fili badly, which, man, I knew he was going to be special right from the get-go, because, Andre Fili, he wasn't ranked at the time, I don't believe, or anything like that. But he was a very well-respected guy, probably top 20, top 25 at the time. I believe he's ranked now. Maybe not, but, Andre Fili's a great fucking fighter. So to go in there, a new debut, and to just completely run over a guy like that, like it's nothing. I knew Calvin was going to be special. He's hit a couple bumps in the road. The Moicano fight sticks out really badly, just the way he was kind of outclassed there with leg kicks. And, that's definitely going to be a big tool for Ige here, in my opinion. I think he's going to chop those legs of Calvin Kattar. It's just, oh, man, I feel like with the hands, Calvin Kattar is the way better boxer, way more sound defensively, offensively. Like, he throws more combos, whereas Ige is just a I'm gonna fucking bull rush you and throw a big right hand. Where I just feel like he's gonna get countered very, very badly. Although he did win that fight against Edson Barboza, and even going back and rewatching it, I actually kind of scored that fight for Dan Ige. I know and it was the second round that was in question. Um, Dan Ige was pressuring him the entire time. It wasn't a first round situation. First round, Edson hurt him and had a lot of success. Second round was more like 4.5 minutes of Dan Ige, pressuring him, landing the way bigger shots, landing more shots, and then Edson hurt him in the last 30 seconds. So I think you can kind of give that round to Dan Ige. So props to him. I actually, scored that fight for him. Rewatching it, big win against Edson Barboza. It's just you could see the clear defensive flaws. He took a lot of big damage in that fight. I think he's due for a knockout loss here against a very sharp, top 10 elite striker. I mean, when I think of the best boxers in the UFC, I think of Calvin Kattar. I think of Rob Font. I think of fucking Conor McGregor, Masvidal. So I mean, that's very highly speaking of Calvin Kattar and what I think of this guy's striking credentials. And obviously, Dan Ige has a grappling game to go with it. Wrestling is very good, but Calvin Kattar's actually got some great takedown defense, man. He's only been taken down twice in the UFC. Believe he got right back up both times. It was I know one was Zabit. Who else took him down? I know he got taken down one other time. I can't really think of it at the top of my head, but yeah, he's only been taken down twice in the UFC. Fishgold took him down, but he beat the fuck out of Fishgold.
Fishgold did tag him though early in that fight. I remember.
Yeah, he did tag him in the. Chris Fishgold's a motherfucker in that first round though, man. So yeah, he definitely caught Calvin off guard there, but Calvin's a tough dude, durable dude. He was able to do his thing there, and he's been doing his damn thing just in general, man. I feel like he's improving. He's getting hungrier and hungrier. He's one of these guys that has a chip on his shoulder for sure. Where as Dan Ige, I feel like this is no disrespect on Dan Ige, but I feel like he just barely squeezed out the biggest win of his career. And now that he beat Edson Barboza, it's only, top 10 guys from here. And I just don't see Dan Ige as a top 10 guy. It's just too many flaws on the feet, in my opinion. Even his wrestling and grappling, as good as it is, I don't know if it's that elite level. I don't know if it's going to be enough to take down, hold down a guy like Calvin or submit a guy like Calvin. I just don't see that happening at all. And with this fight being 5 rounds, I see Calvin picking him apart and eventually cracking that chin, putting him away. I'm going to say Calvin Kattar wins this fight via 3rd or 4th round knockout.
Yeah, man. Well, last week I bet Prochazka and I went against the world. Today, it's Wednesday, I'm going against the world. I'm betting Dan Ige. I have 2 units on Ige. I believe plus 245, so I botched that line as well. I'm excited to go against everyone. I did the same thing for Prochazka, and I like Kattar, man. Kattar's a really good fighter. I've never faded him before, ever. I've bet on him multiple times. I think he's a really good fighter. I love his straight right, and it's so long, too. Like, he has really good fucking reach, but this line is just so off, man. It really is. I had to go with Ige here, man, and honestly, I think Kattar's the better striker, but I don't think it's fucking like by a long shot. I think it's close. I mean, Ige's striking's really good, dude. I mean, his striking's improved so much, dude, since his debut against Arce. Really good right hand, dude. Really good fucking jab, dude. I mean, he hits like a truck, dude. I mean, I would not be surprised at all if he hurt Kattar, man, at all. And one thing I like about Ige in this fight is that he's a fast starter. That's the thing. Kattar's a slow starter. You watch the fight against Jeremy Stephens. I mean, Stephens won that first round 100%, dude. And another thing I like about Ige, he's a pressure fighter. He's going to be in his pace. He's not going to let Calvin dictate the pace at all. So the fact that Ige's going to be pressuring him the whole fight, I like that. And yeah, Ige's, shown that he's, lost the second round in all of his fights so far. Besides the last fight, he won the second round versus Barboza, dude. So I think this fight can go late. I actually think that Ige is going to win a decision here. I don't think that Ige is going to finish Kattar. I definitely think he could. He has a grappling advantage. I mean, I would not be surprised if Ige took him down. I actually think he's going to take him down. I mean, Ige's grappling is really good, dude. But I think it's going to be a barn burner of a fight, a back and forth fight, and I think it goes all 5 rounds. And I think Dan Ige is going to win 3 rounds. One thing I like about Ige, he's a Hawaiian warrior, dude. This guy's chin's so good. Yeah, he took a lot of punishment against Barboza, but he's not a quitter, bro. You're going to have to put him out to win this fight. And, I mean, Kattar can. He has good boxing, dude, but I mean, I like Ige, man. I just plus 245. This line is disgusting, man. This should be a close fight, in my opinion, man. This should not be lined how it is because I like Kattar so much. He's a really good fighter, but you just can't ignore the improvements, the leaps and bounds that Dan Ige's been putting in there, man. I mean, he went out there and just beat Barbosa, dude, and he looked good. I mean, I don't know how he scored the fight for Barbosa, man. After I've watched it so many times, Ige won that fight, dude. And I'm really impressed with the striking. It's like Ige's a grappler. He's a black belt. He has really good fucking pressure, a really good ground game, good on top. But his striking is good. You can't sit here and say that his striking is not good. I think it's really good. And I don't. I think he can hang with Kattar on the feet. I just think he has to get in his face. I mean, if he does not pressure Kattar, he's gonna get picked apart. So I got Dan Ige by decision. I would not be surprised if he finished Kattar because I think that Ige is a finisher and a really good fighter. But I like Kattar too. I think I would not be surprised if Kattar won the fight. I mean, simply one of the main reasons why I'm betting Ige is because the line is completely off. But I think that Ige can have success in this fight, man. So I'm gonna go with Dan Ige with a dub. So let's talk about our bets real quick. Ige, Stamann, and Benoit. You want to say yours real quick?
Yeah, man. So I got my first. I'll go in order of the order I made the play. So I got 3 units on Jimmy Rivera plus 150, or Jimmy Rivera to win by decision plus 150, and then I got 3 units on Jorge Gonzalez plus 150 to beat Kenneth Bergh. Then I just made my 4 unit play on Diana Belbita minus 165. And then, guys, I did something I almost never do. If y'all been watching me for a long time, I never make plays like this. I put 1 unit on a 3-leg parlay. Diana Belbita to win by KO/TKO. Razak Alhassan to win by KO/TKO. And Calvin Kattar to win by KO/TKO. So all those fighters to win by KO/TKO. I got that at plus 1,530. So that's 1 unit to win 15.3 units. I'm not expecting that shit to cash. Obviously, the books, they make money off of people making parlays like that, but I ain't gonna lie, guys. I feel kind of fucking good about it. So let's go.
Yeah, man. I don't agree with what you said about Ige not being a top 10 guy. I definitely think Ige is a top 10 guy. I think Ige is a really good fighter, man. I think Kattar's a good fighter. They're both good fighters. But don't act like Kattar doesn't get either. I mean, get hit either. Kattar has a good chin, but I mean, he's been cracked before. I mean, Fishgold fucking rock the guy. Fishgold can go out there and rock him. I would not be surprised at all if Ige put him out. But yeah, I mean, Kattar's more technical. Kattar's probably the most fucking boxer in the division. He's a really fucking good striker. But I think Ige's a really good striker too. I mean, if you watch Ige's whole career before the UFC, he didn't have these hands, bro. His hands are like legit now, dude. So, yeah, I got Ige, but I mean, I think that Kattar could 100% win this fight. So, and a lot of people are saying that Ige's a small guy and all that stuff. Like, yeah, he's short and all that stuff, but it's not like he's fucking like has no muscle. Like, he's
That means
fucking
nothing.
jacked.
Look at Volkanovski. He's like the
Yeah,
shortest guy in the
that means
division.
nothing, bro. Like Ige walks around like a 175. Like the guy's fucking thick. The fact that he's short doesn't mean anything, dude, at all. It's all about if he fucking pressures Kattar. Because if he does not pressure Kattar, he's not going to win this fight. He's going to get picked apart. He has to get in his face and he has to make it a dogfight. He has to. If he doesn't, he's going to lose. So there you guys go. We'll be back on Thursday for Saturday's card. I'm going to be doing a live stream Friday night probably. So if you're not doing anything, Kelton, you can join me. But probably some shoot the shit, talk about UFC for a couple hours. Anything you want to say before we go?
I'm off on Friday, so I'm definitely down for that.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna do a live stream. Yeah, we'll do a live stream on Friday. We'll have some people come on here and stuff, and yeah, talk about UFC. No jobbers though. You guys are gonna talk a lot of shit and all that. If you talk a lot of shit and all this stuff, and you're not coming on. So, all right, guys, we'll be back for Thursday. I'm a little mad because Joker was plus 110 yesterday, and now he's like minus 105. So fuck, he got steamed the fuck out of. So. But yeah, I cannot wait to tape that card, and we will see you guys on Thursday. Later, guys, and thanks for liking, subscribing, and we'll see you guys soon. In 2 words, Jiri Prochazka. You guys heard it here.